My name is Don Brown. I'm a member of the Crews Lecturers Association. I talk about a lifetime of fighting crime. As a former senior police officer with the Greater Manchester Police, I investigated countless homicides and serious crime. It's a career which I have continued after my 30 years experience, and I now work for local government, continuing to advise and combat crime. My lectures are based on that experience. My first lecture is about my career as a police officer in the 1970s through to the years of 2005. It was a wonderful experience, starting life on a beat, fighting public order in a riot situation, tackling vice and drugs, and ultimately becoming a senior detective, tackling homicide, serious crime and corruption. It's a story which I enrich with some amusement, some tragedy, but most of all, it's very interesting. As a former Detective Chief Superintendent, I've investigated countless homicides. I use one particular murder to present to an audience, but it's not just straightforward a presentation of what I did. I invite the audience to participate. We unravel the mystery. We analyse the scientific evidence. We look at the clues. We aim together to reach a successful conclusion. I use an actual murder and the evidence that was put before the court. It's extremely interesting, has a high level of audience participation, and it has been extremely well received wherever I presented this particular case. Crime has moved on these days with the introduction of the internet. It is very much the tool of the fraudster and the tool of organised crime. We see them move away from the traditional crime of armed robbery. They now look to attack your bank accounts and your money. The number of scams on the internet are staggering. And in my next presentation, I talk about those scams. I talk about copyright fraud, about charity fraud, and about insurance fraud, and how it touches every one of you. But moreover, I inform you what the key crime scams are and what you can do to avoid becoming a victim. Organised crime costs the British government over £40 billion a year, which every one of us in Britain will be subsidising. So I, in my next presentation, talk about organised crime and how agencies have come together to tackle it in the style of Elliot Ness and Al Capone. Together agencies now work in partnership, looking for those vital clues and the Achilles heel of organised crime gangs, dismantling the empires, disrupting them and seizing their assets. It's a presentation which has gone before national government as the way forward to tackle organised crime. As a police historian, I'm very interested in some of the major crimes that police have been involved in over the decades. One which strikes home to me was in 1963 when the Great Train Robbery took place, where a gang of men attacked Her Majesty's Royal Mail train and stole millions of pounds in today's money. Did crime pay in that case? How were they organised? How did the police detect it? And decades on, who is the mystery person which escaped capture? My presentation examined those with the recent evidence that has been uncovered, and it is extremely interesting, particularly for those people who are interested in the Great Train Robbery, and there are lots of them. In Victorian times, policing was extremely difficult. There were no police radios, there was no technology, there was no scientific support. So one of my presentations looks at the Sherlock Holmes of Manchester, Jerome Caminardi, and how he stalked the streets of Manchester, tackling the underbelly of crime, vice, murder and extortion. This is a true-to-life story of one of the great Victorian detectives of our time. Those are just some of the presentations which I do. I continue to look at crime history, modern day policing, crime scene analysis, and update my presentations on a regular basis. I hope you will join me in listening to my presentations and be entertained as many have been. Thank you.